It's easy to think that modern slavery happened a long time ago and was limited to certain countries of the world. However, the long-held perception of slavery is still a reality today. Modern slavery is a catch-all term. It covers all forms of human exploitation where the victim can't refuse or leave. It includes forced marriage, human trafficking, forced labour, and child exploitation. It's estimated that over 40 million people are victims of some form of modern slavery. However, it's believed this figure is much higher in reality. The perception that slavery doesn't exist in the modern world has meant that many countries don't have legislation in place. There is a movement in government for legislation to hold people accountable for modern slavery broadly. We're seeing this first in California, then the UK and Australia through the introduction of legislation. For business, this is focused on supply chain transparency and due diligence. NDY's values govern the way we do business. We care about doing the right thing in the communities and the locations that we operate. And this is because, as a global business, our operations are inevitably far-reaching, and our supply chain extends beyond the services we depend on. This year, NDY formalised its commitment to managing modern slavery by publishing our first modern slavery statement. This statement outlines our processes and intended actions to manage and reduce risk where possible. As a global business, it's inevitable that social risks exist in our supply chain. As part of our endeavours to understand these risks, we've actually been mapping our supply chain since 2018. Since then, we adopted a two-step process to mapping out our supply chain risk. Firstly, we took a top-down approach to understanding our risk intensity and risk exposure across all business locations. This involved a screening of our entire operations, which gave us an indication of geographical and sector-based risks. Using the results of this screening process, we narrowed down the risk by engaging with our direct suppliers. Secondly, we adopted Informed 365's industry-recognised modern slavery platform. The platform supports cross-sector industries to gather detailed reporting on human rights and modern slavery risks. We consider this level of engagement and collaboration with our suppliers as a necessary step. It allows us to understand the nature of any present risks and work with our suppliers to respond in a meaningful way. We're undertaking several initiatives as part of our commitment. Internally, this means having policies and procedures in place and grievance mechanisms, as well as training for all staff. Externally, this means collaborating directly with our suppliers to help them manage their own social risks. We see these partnerships as key to increasing support and awareness of modern slavery. This is an issue that affects us all through the products that we buy and the services that we use, both at work and in our own personal lives. If you want to understand your own personal exposure to modern slavery, you can head to slaveryfootprint.org.